Okay, Monday, the end of the weekend. 2 more weeks, oh my goodness. Holidays coming upon us. Doesn't feel like it because it's so warm out there. So, we're going to do all over body. We're doing a little bit more core today because we haven't done, we slipped off that a little bit. So we didn't do so much last week. So we'll do a bit more core this week, or today rather, and a bit more on Friday. So give those legs a bit of a rub. Wake them up a bit, get the blood flowing, rub down the outside of your legs, rub down the top of your legs and the inside, get those calf muscles going, get those inner thighs, and move those kneecaps around a bit, circles one way, push hard on the thumb on the inside of the knee, and then on the outside. And then slide your hands all the way down to your feet, let your knees come soft. Sorry, just rocking my bum. Find those seat bones, tipping on the left, tipping on the right. And then hold those toes, push those toes away, give them a big stretch through that toe joint where the toe joins onto the foot. And then pull those toes backwards and stretch them the other way. And then just put your hands over your feet with your toes into your wrist. And just pull those, flex those ankle joints. Good, and then release. And then sit yourself up nice and tall. Roll your shoulders up to your ears. Push them back. Pull those elbows together. Lift that chest up forward, breathing in. Take the chin up to the sky, breathing out. Pull those upper arms together. Push off that right hand, straighten that arm, and then push off that left hand and straighten that arm. And then pull that chin all the way down into the chest and stretch the back of the neck. Turn the eyes over to the right hand side of that right leg. And then bring those eyes to the left side of the left leg. And then bring them back to the right side of the right leg. So we're moving the head, pulling that left ear away from that left shoulder. And then pull them across and take them to the left side of the left leg and really pull the right ear away from the right shoulder. And then bring them back to the middle, pulling the chin to the chest, pull those shoulder blades together. And then bring the eyes all the way up to the sky. Push that chin up, push that chest up, push that belly forward, arching that back. And then release those hands and round that back and take those hands all the way down towards your feet. Stretching through that back, stretching through those armpits. Soften your knees, hold on to your feet. I've taken my hands around the outside of my feet and then I just push those feet away, straightening those knees a bit and stretch through the armpits, through that upper back, middle back, and through that lower back. And then release, bring yourself up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Bring those arms up in front and slowly lower down to the floor, one vertebra at a time, starting at the top of the pelvis, all the way down, all the way to flat, arms all the way over the head. Push those fingers away from the toes, push the right hand hard away from that right foot. And then push the left hand hard away from that left foot. And then take the right hand over to the left side of the mat. And take those feet to the left side of the mat. And put the left foot over the right leg. Taking hold of that right wrist, pull that right wrist away from that right foot. If you want to push your right hip over to the right so that you stretch more, even more, that's fine. And making sure you're keeping your shoulders on the floor so you're not twisting, coming back to center. Pushing those arms away, and then take the arms to the left. You can move the hips to the left a bit. Sorry, taking the arms to the right, taking the hips to the left a bit, and taking the feet to the right. Crossing that right leg over the left leg, push that left hand away from that right hand. Again, shoulders stay on the mat, hips stay on the mat, so you feel that stretch through those ribs, through that armpit, all the way through the hips, through that left-hand side. And then release, bring the feet back to the center, bring the hands back to the center. Pushing those hands away from those feet, bring those arms all the way up into the sky, breathing in. On the out breath, chin into the chest, pushing that back in the floor, roll yourself all the way back up, leaning all the way forwards towards those feet, stretching through that back, loosening that head and neck. And then sit yourself up to vertical. Bring that roller in behind you. Soften those knees up and put the feet flat on the mat. Breathing in. On the out breath, lean your lower ribs on that roller. Lean yourself all the way over. Breathing all the way out. Take that head all the way down to the floor. And then breathing in, bring yourself back up. Move the roller up a little bit towards the shoulders, breathing in. And then breathing out. Push that breastbone up. Let that head come down. And then bring your head back up and come back up. And moving the roller a little bit further, breathing in. And on the out breath, letting that head go down, pushing the breastbone up to the sky. And then lift yourself back up. And then move the roller one more time, breathing in. Breathing out. Let that head come all the way down to the floor. Pushing the breastbone up. And then lift that bum a little bit off the ground and just roll the roller down towards those bottom ribs. Keeping that head low, keeping that bum low. And then all the way back up. Mind your head doesn't get caught under the roller. All the way down to those bottom ribs and all the way back. So I've just got my arms a little bit in the sky, so I'm keeping those shoulder blades flat with those ribs. And I'm going to lean a bit onto that right side. So my left side comes up a touch off the roller, and then go back to the center and go onto that left side. And then come back to the center and go on that right side. And I'm going to go all the way over onto the right, all the way through that right side, onto those bottom ribs, through that armpit, and put that right arm straight. And I'm just going to rock forwards and back a little bit as I roll down through that armpit so that I massage and then back up. So I massage through those muscles around that shoulder blade, around those bottom ribs, and then start to roll back onto the back. So do a couple on the side, a couple of up and downs to get back to central. And over onto that left side. Do a couple of up and downs on the left of the spine, and then continue all the way over onto your left side. And again, rocking forwards and backwards through those bottom ribs, through that armpit. And then all the way back down again. And then through and back over onto the back again. Really opening up so we get that thoracic spine nice and straight. Really opening, pushing that breastbone up to the sky, pushing that belly up, putting that bum down, putting that head down. Stop in the middle of that thoracic spine in that bra strap area, breathing in. Hands in prayer by your nose. Push those fingertips to the floor, straighten those arms out. Slide those legs out straight, reaching, pushing those fingers away from the toes, breathing in. Breathing out. Reach those fingers away from the toes. Reach those toes away from the fingers. Bring those hands back into the head. Bring those feet back in towards the bum. Move that roller up and down one more time. All the way down, all the way up. And then rest the bum on the floor and lift that upper body up and come off that roller. Excellent. Moving that roller out of the way. Sitting up nice and tall. Put those legs out straight. And we're going to bend forward at that hip. So bring that tummy button towards those thighs. You can hold behind the legs if you want. Keep that head pushing up to the ceiling. So we're not rounding forward, we're pushing and we're flexing this hip joint. So try to bring your body right forward onto your front bottom. So that you're off your middle bottom, your tailbone is off the floor. And you're really, so bend your knees so that the hamstrings don't get in the way of that if you need to, in order to get right forward. So my tummy is right on my thigh here. Yeah, bend your knees a little bit more, Sandra. Lift that chest up. So bring the chest up to the ceiling, chin up to the ceiling, pulling that tummy onto those thighs. Good, lovely. Excellent, really reaching up. And then sit yourself up nice and tall, keeping straight. So we're in neutral spine, rolling those shoulders up to the ears, back and down. And then leaning backwards onto that tailbone, keeping straight with that torso, keeping my knees are a bit bent. Good, and then come back up to vertical. And then leaning all the way forwards onto that front bottom. And then sitting up nice and tall. And then this time rounding, so collapse down in that lower back. Pushing it into the floor, taking those arms forwards if you need to stabilize, all the way down to the ground, lengthen those legs, bring those arms all the way over the head. Reach away, make yourself nice and long. Pull those shoulders down towards the waist. Push those shoulders up towards the ears. Bring those shoulders down towards the waist. Bring those arms up into the sky. Holding them there, bring the left knee in, take hold of that with the left hand, bring the right knee in, take hold of that with the right hand, and lift that tailbone up off the floor and curl that back, and then release. Lift that tailbone up, curling the back, and release. One more, lift the tailbone up, curling the back, release. Now push the tailbone into the ground and let that back arch, holding onto those knees. Pull those knees in towards the tummy without flattening the back to the ground. So we're flexing that hip joint again. Really trying to get those thighs onto the tummy. Obviously, they're not going to get there. And then flatten that back into the floor. Lift the tailbone up. And then lift and then turn the tailbone down and arch that back, lifting it off the ground, keeping the bottom ribs on the floor, keeping the shoulders on the floor. Pushing the back of the head into the floor, pulling those knees in, so we're flexing that hip joint. And then release on the flexion, but let those legs drop apart. So we've got the knees bent still, pulling those shoulders down towards the waist, keeping those upper ribs, middle ribs, bottom ribs, all on the floor, keeping a slight lift in that lower back, pulling those knees apart, pushing the back of the head into the floor. Straighten the right leg out, straighten the left leg. Holding those knees apart, let gravity, just let them drop. And then push those legs against the hands. Don't let them move, just push them against the hands. Restrain them with your hands. Then breathe in. Breathing out, release on the push and let the legs hang further apart. Lengthen the head from the tailbone. Lifting that lower back slightly. Make sure those bottom ribs are on the floor. Make sure those shoulders are back and down. And then bend those knees and let those thighs open a bit further. And then bring those legs together using your hands. Pull that right knee in, let the left leg go out straight. Pull that right knee in, let the back flatten onto the floor. Pull that right knee in, flattening, bending through that hip, pushing that left leg away, feeling a bit of stretch in the front of that left leg. And then pull the right leg all the way over the body to the left, pushing that right hand away, pushing that right knee away from the hand, pushing the right hip away from the right shoulder, turning through those ribs. Trying to turn the eyes towards the hand, breathing in, breathing out, reach and lengthen. And then roll yourself onto your left-hand side, pull that right foot up behind. Putting the right foot in the hand, just let the knee be in line with the pubic bone. So we've got the pubic bone, tummy button, breastbone aligned. Now push that right foot into that right hand. Breathing in. Breathing out. Release the push and lengthen that leg behind you, just gently. Push that right foot into the right hand. Letting those shoulders come back and down. Breathing in On the out breath, release the push and lengthen that leg behind. So just go gently. The body's going to be getting a little run down at the moment. You're working hard. We've got later nights for Christmas. We're drinking a bit more alcohol potentially. But then push that foot into the hand, clenching with that right bum. Breathing in. On the out breath, lengthen and push that leg away behind you. And then release that leg, roll back onto your back, pull that same knee up in towards the chest, pushing that other leg away. Let that lower back lift off the ground a little bit, so my tailbones come up, back's rounding. Now I can push the tailbone into the floor and I create more stretch into that, or more flexion into that hip joint. And then I'm going to pull that leg over the body again, pushing that right hand away. So we're stretching through the spine, reaching that hand, reaching that knee to the floor, letting the hip follow the knee, letting the shoulder follow the hand, letting those ribs turn. And then roll back onto the back, bring that left knee up, put the right foot on the left knee, bring that left leg in, push away with that right hand on that right knee. Hold it in that stretch. And then push the right knee back into that right hand. Breathing in. Breathing out. Release the push. Lengthen through that stretch a bit further. Pushing that knee away, putting the other knee towards. And then release that left leg straight. Pull that right knee into the body one more time. And then let the right leg go out. Let the arms go over the head. Reach and lengthen the body. Bring those hands up to the sky. Push those hands up, push that spine into the floor. Now pull those shoulders into the ground and lift the spine off the ground. Rotate those arms around and bring that left knee in. Roll those shoulders up to the ears into the floor. Flatten those ribs on the ground. Push the back of the head into the floor, lifting the lower back slightly by turning through the pelvis. Pull that left knee in, compressing and flexing that pelvis. Rotation with that right foot, or left foot rather. Circles one way, circles the other way as you're pulling it in. Pull that knee in. Let that lower back flatten on the floor. Feel the stretch through the front of the other leg. Bring that leg across the body. Bringing the left leg over the body to the floor, pushing the left hand away. Pushing that right foot away, turning the eyes left, pushing the shoulder after that left hand, pushing the hip after that left knee. Breathing in, breathing out, reaching, lengthening. Stretching through those ribs. And then roll your body onto your right. Support your head with your underneath arm. Take hold of this foot in your hand. Keep that knee, pubic bone, tummy button, breastbone in a line to start with. And just push that foot into the hand. Breathing in, feel the tension. Breathing out, release the push, and then gradually lengthen that leg behind you. Push the foot into the hand again. Breathing in, and breathing out. Release that left shoulder. Breathing in. On the out breath, release the push and lengthen that leg, stretching through the front of that hip. Stretching. And then release, roll back onto your back. Pull that knee into your chest again. Push the tailbone onto the floor, keeping flexing through that hip, lengthening through the body. Pull that leg over the body again. Pushing the knee to the ground, turning the tummy button and the breastbone to the sky, pushing that left shoulder to the floor, pushing that left hand away, turning the eyes left, pushing that right foot all the way down away from the body. Roll back onto your back. Keeping hold of that left leg, turning it, bring the right leg in, put the left foot on the right knee, pull that right leg up and push that left leg away. Pushing that left knee away, rotating through that upper thigh, rotating at the hip joint. Holding that leg away, now push the left leg into the left hand. Breathing in. and out. And then release the push and lengthen, pushing the left knee away a bit. Hold, push the left knee into the hand again. Breathing in. And on the out breath, release and rotate a bit further, stretching through that hip. And then let that right leg go straight. Pull that left knee in one more time. Pull that left leg over the body one more time. Pushing that hip on the hip after that knee, pushing that shoulder after that hand, turning the eyes left, look at those fingers. Left ear to the floor. And then roll back onto the back and let that left leg go out straight. Let those hands go all the way over the head, breathing in. And on the out breath, push those hands, let the shoulders come up to the ears. And then pull those shoulders down to the waist away from the ears, keeping the arms straight on the floor. And then relax those arms. Make sure, or notice, are the elbows, are the forearms touching the ground in the same place? Are the elbows touching the floor? Bring those arms up to the sky, pivoting them over your shoulders, breathing in. On the out breath, chin into the chest, slowly rolling yourself all the way up to sitting. Hands on those legs, reaching all the way forwards towards those feet. Lengthen through that spine, breathing in, breathing out. Bring yourself up to vertical. Pop that left hand on the right knee, right hand behind. Push off this right hand, keep that torso straight. Rotating with the spine in column, not with it in a bend. Turning through the ribs, turning through the chest, turning through that tummy button, and then release. Bring that right hand onto the left leg, left hand behind. Again, lift off that back hand, keep that spine in column, turning around to the left, turning that breastbone, turning that tummy button, keeping those hips firmly planted on the floor. And then come back round to the center. Breathing in, bring those arms up in front. Breathing out, lower yourself all the way down to the ground. All the way down to the ground. Rolling those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Keep those arms by your side. Slide your fingers under your palm, breathing in. And on the out breath, push off those elbows and lift onto the back of your head, pushing your breastbone to the sky, opening through that chest. Breathing in. Breathing out, push that breastbone up high, squeeze those shoulder blades together, really stretching through the front, and then release down to the floor. Bring that left knee in, bring that right knee in, lift the tailbone up, bring the nose to the knees. Hold yourself here, holding, and then release. Let those toes come to the floor. Let those hands come to the floor next to the body, lengthen those legs out, slide the hands under your bum, breathing in. On the out breath, push off those elbows, lift up onto the top of the head, squeezing that chest up high, pulling those shoulder blades together, breathing in. Fill those lungs up with air and spread those ribs, breathing out. Push that breastbone up high. Push off those elbows, really push that breastbone high, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Breathing in, fill those lungs up with air and spread those ribs. Breathing out, lift up high, pushing the bum in the floor, pushing off those elbows, and then release. Lower yourself down to flat. Breathing in, bring that right knee in, bring that left knee in. Hug those knees into the nose, lifting the head up, hugging up, crunching up small. Take those arms off the legs, reach past towards those feet. Lower that upper body down to the floor, rest the head on the ground. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Holding these arms, passing the bum. Lift those feet away from the bum a bit so your knees come to 90 degrees, breathing in on the out breath. Push the tail into the floor, get that neutral spine. Look for all the ribs to be on the ground, bottom ribs, middle ribs, upper ribs. Rest those arms on the floor, pull those shoulder blades together, palms up. Rotate that right leg so that the foot goes down to the floor. Keeping the torso still in neutral, lift that foot back up, stay with the right leg. Take it down to the floor. 3 more. Tap it down. Lift it back up. 2 more. Holding that core, nothing in the body moves. Bring it back up. 1 more. Push those fingers down towards the feet so the shoulders stay away from the ears. Left leg 4 times to the ground. Lower that leg. Taking it over slowly, lifting it back up for 4. And again, all the way down, tapping on the floor for 3. Lifting back up. All the way back down, tapping on the floor for 2. Keep those shoulders away from the ears and back up. And then tapping it down for 1. Bring it back up, both legs together. Taking it down for the count of 3, 2, 1. Tap the floor lightly, up for 3, 2, 1. Down to the floor for 3, 2, 1. Lifting up for 3, 2, 1. Taking it down for 3, 2, 1. Holding it here lightly for 3, 2, 1. Lifting back up for 3, 2, 1. Rotating the legs down again, both legs for 3, 2, 1. Hover just off the floor or gently resting on the floor for 3, 2, 1. Push the head into the ground, lift back up for 3, 2, 1. Push the back of the head into the floor is the key to keeping your shoulders in their correct alignment. Lowering down again for 3, 2, 1. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Lifting back up for 3, 2, 1. Okay, down again for 3, 2, 1. Both feet here, shoulders on the ground. Slide those heels away to straight for 3, 2, 1. Legs are out straight. So Ali, get your shoulders on the floor a bit more. Bringing those feet back in for 3, 2, 1. Lift the legs back up for 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody, hands and forearms in the air, elbows on the floor. Now take the backs of the hands out to the floor. Feel those shoulder blades connect. Pull those shoulder blades down. Keep them away from the ears. That's where your shoulders live. Okay, both legs going down to the floor for 3, 2, 1. Slide the legs out to straight for 3, 2, 1. Bring those legs back in for 3, 2, 1. Bring them back up for 3, 2, 1. Take those legs down to the floor again for 3, 2, 1. Slide them straight for 3, 2, 1. Make sure those bottom ribs are on the ground. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Bring the legs back in for 3, 2, 1. And back up for 3, 2, 1. Last one. Down to the floor for 3, 2, 1. Slide them out straight for 3, 2, 1. Hold them here. Lift the right leg up for 3, 2, 1. Down to the floor. 3, 2, 1. Left leg. 3, 2, 1. Down to the floor for 3, 2, 1. Both legs back in for 3, 2, 1. And back up. 3, 2, 1. Hug those knees into the chest. Bring the nose to the knees. Take those arms past the legs, keeping the upper body off the floor. Try and get your lower legs parallel to the ground. Breathing in. On the out breath, bring the upper body up and down to the floor, arms coming over the head. Reaching those arms on the floor, keep those bottom ribs on the ground, lower back slightly lifted. No arch, no excessive arching of the ribs. Breathing in. On the out breath, round yourself up, upper body coming up, hands reaching past the body. Breathing in. On the out breath, lowering down. 3, 2, 1. Bring the body up for 3, 2, 1. Lower the body down for 3, 2, 1. Make the eyes look at the toes when you're up. Coming up again. 3, 2, 1. Hold yourself here. Right leg down to the floor for 2. Tap. Lift it up for 2, 1. Left leg down for 2, 1. And up. 2, 1. Both legs down for 2, 1. And up for 2, 1. Upper body out to the floor again. All the way down around. Rest that head on the floor. Push those hands away. Pull those shoulders down to the waist. Bring that upper body back up again. 3, 2, 1. Take the legs down for 3, 2, 1. Bring those legs up for 3, 2, 1. Put the upper body back on the floor for 3, 2, 1. So arms coming overhead. So when the arms come over the head, keep those ribs on the floor. Don't let them arch. Breathing in on the out breath, upper body up for 3, 2, 1. Feet all the way around and down for 3, 2, 1. Legs back up for 3, 2, 1. Upper body back for 3, 2, 1. Slide those arms out to a scarecrow on the ground. Drop those knees to the left, turn the eyes right. Breathing in. Push those hands away from each other, stretching through that back, using the core though. Draw the core in, lift those knees up and take them to the other side. So my feet are off the floor. Turning the eyes to the left, pushing those hands away from each other. Breathing in on the out breath, drawing that core, lengthen through the torso, and lift those knees up. You can pivot the feet on the floor if you want, or you can have the feet off the ground. Reaching, turning the eyes to the right. Breathing in on the out breath, lifting those legs all the way up, keeping that neutral spine all the way over the other side, pushing those hands away from each other, eyes turned left. One more, bring those knees all the way up, bring the body all the way over, knees over to the left, eyes right. Stretching through that spine. And then all the way back up with those feet and all the way over the other side. Breathing in. Breathing out. Come all the way back up to the top. Bring those arms up, bring those legs up. Hands are pointing straight to the sky, knees are bent. Breathing in on the out breath, straighten those legs. Breathing in on the out breath, lift that bum off the floor for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, 1. Hold your feet here, push the tailbone into the ground, pull those shoulders into the ground. Pull all of those ribs into the floor, let a slight lift off that lower back. This is your neutral spine. Push those heels into the sky. Take the right leg straight down to the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg, point the toe, bring that leg back up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flex the left foot. Take the left leg down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point the toe, bring the left leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flex both feet. Try to take both legs down. If you want to do them individually, you can. Down for 5. Keep that tailbone down. Keep the lower back lifted. 3, 2, 1. Point those toes, lifting up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold those legs in the air. Lift the bum up off the floor for 5 and lower. 4 and lower. 3, lower. 2, lower. 1, lower. Straighten those legs, flex those feet. Tailbone down, ribs on the floor, lower back slightly lifted. Take that left leg down to the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point the foot, lift it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right leg down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point the toe, lift up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flex both feet, down for 5, 4. Lower back lifted slightly, 2, 1. Touch the heels, point those toes, lift back up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure the bottom ribs on the ground, lower back slightly lifted. Move those ankles, circles one way with those feet. Circles the other way with those feet. Soften the knees, lift that bum off the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bend those knees. Hug those knees into the chest, bring the nose to the knees, and release. And bring the nose to the knees, and release. Take those arms out to 45 degrees on the ground, palms down. Take those legs straight up into the sky. Chin into the chest, pulling those shoulders into the ground, pulling those ribs in the ground, lift the lower back. Lower the legs to the left as far as you feel comfortable. The hip will lift up. Push off the left hand to support. Keep that left shoulder in the ground. Hold there, breathing in. On the out breath, lift those legs back up to vertical. Take them over to the right. Push that right hand into the floor. Push that right shoulder into the floor to stabilize. The hip will lift, left hip will lift up. And then come back up. You're trying to keep the ribs on the ground though. Lower over to the left. Use that left arm, left shoulder to stabilize. Push those feet away. Hold strong. Bring those legs back up. Over to the right. Push off that right arm. Lengthen those legs. Breathing in. Lift those legs back up. Down and over to the left. Use that arm and shoulder. Keep the shoulder down though. Don't let it hunch up or lift up. Lift those legs back up. And then over to the right. And then bring them back up to center. Bend those knees, put the feet flat on the floor. Bring those arms back into the side. Breathing in, bring those arms up, pointing them over the knees, straighten the legs. Breathing out, chin into the chest, roll yourself all the way up to sitting. Roll yourself all the way forward to those feet. Stretching through that back, stretching through those hamstrings. Breathing in. Breathing out, loosen that head and neck, just rock that head and neck side to side. Sit yourself up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, pull them back, pull them down. Put the hands on the floor behind you. Lift that chest up, push off those arms. Breathing in, stretching through that chest. And release. Make sure your feet are on the mat, so slide back a bit so you've got feet and hands on the mat if you slid forward a bit. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, back and down, lifting that chest up, pulling those toes towards your nose, pulling those knees into the floor. Breathing in. Breathing out, clench the bum, lift those hips up off the ground. Lengthen through that armpit. Make sure your hands under your shoulders. So my hand is a bit too close to my bum at the moment. I need to move them back a bit. And then ease, lower that bum to the floor. Breathing in. On the out breath, roll those shoulders up to the ears, back and down. Push the chest forward. Clench the knees, pull them into the ground, pull the toes to the nose. Then engage the bum. So tighten your bum. Breathing out, lift those hips up. So we lift them up by clenching the bum. Lengthen the body, tighten the thighs, and then lower down to the ground again. Excellent. Much better than we used to have. Elbows tap straight. Lift those hands, lift that chest up. Lifting the chest away from the hands, breathing in. Pull the toes to the nose, pull the knees back into the floor. Breathing out. Clench the bum, lift up those hips. Hold yourself nice and straight and long. Good. Go, Sandra. Clench and lift. Lift that chest, Leslie. Really lift. good, excellent. Breathing out and lower back down to the ground. Push off those hands, roll yourself all the way forward, release those fingers, roll all the way forward, stretching through that back. Breathing in, breathing out. Bring those hands back into that same position, put them on the floor, bring the elbows together, lift that chest up high, pull the knees into the floor, pull the toes to the nose, clench the bum, lift those hips up high, push that chest up to the ceiling. Excellent, chest up, tummies up, clenching with the bum, and then lower the bum down to the floor. Push off those hands, rolling all the way forward. Breathing in, breathing out. One more of them. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, pull them back. Put those hands on the floor, bend the elbows, pull the elbows together. Straighten the elbows, push the chest up, draw in the tummy, clench the bum, pull the knees to the floor, lift those hips up. Lift that chest up, breathing in. Breathing out, lift the chest a bit higher. And then lower the bum down to the floor. Push off those hands. Roll yourself all the way forward towards those feet. Breathing in, breathing out. Come up nice and tall. Swing your legs around and just come onto all fours. Just come onto all fours. Hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. Turn the inside of those elbows forward. Breathing in. Breathing out. Slide those hands forward. Keep the bum above the knees. Let that chest come down to the floor. Open through that chest. Open through those armpits. Rest the chin on the floor. Trying to get the ribs down onto the ground. Pushing those forearms into the ground. Breathing in. Breathing out. Ideally, your chin's on the floor. It's a bit hard for me to talk with my chin on the ground, so I keep dropping my forehead. If you can try and keep your chin, breathing in. Breathing out, pushing those forearms. On the out breath, release. Lengthen those arms. Lower that chest down. And then walk those hands back towards the body, come back up onto all fours. Push that tailbone down to the ground, push that back up. Let the eyes come down. Stretching through that back, breathing in. And the out breath, keep the bum above the knees, slide those hands forward, take that chest all the way down to the ground. Rest that chin on the floor, push those hands away. Pushing those forearms into the ground, breathing in. Breathing out. Pushing the forearms into the floor. And then release the push, lengthen those legs a bit, those arms a bit. And then lifting yourself back up, bring those hands back in. Turn that tailbone down. Push that back up, stretch through that back. Turn the tailbone up, bring the belly down, push that chest forward. Take your hands forward slightly on the mat, swing those shoulders over those hands. Take that right leg out straight. Take that left leg out straight into the plank. Rolling the inside of the elbows forward. Glide that body forwards, glide it back. Glide forwards, glide back, glide forwards, glide back. Hold yourself, breathing in, clenching with the bum, push the chest forward, glide forwards and back. One more, forwards and back. Good, drop the knees down, take the bum in the air, back into child pose, stretch through that lower back. Push those arms forward, breathing in, breathing out, come back up onto all fours, breathing in. On the out breath, lower the chest, let that come into that puppy, keep the bum above the feet, stretching through those armpits, stretching through that chest. Breathing in, find it easier to get your chin on the floor, breathing out, push those forearms into the ground. Release the push, lengthen those arms away a bit, lower that chest down a bit. And then lift the body up, bring those arms back under the shoulder, sorry, lead the arms forward. Glide the body forwards over those arms, turning the inside of the elbows forward. Take the right leg out straight, left leg out straight, holding that plank. Glide that body forward, pushing with the chest and back. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Hold. Lengthen the heels away from the head, clench the bum, drawing the core. And then lower the knees down, bum in the air and back into child pose. Good. Pushing those armpits down. Take the arms to the left side of the mat and drop the bum to the right. Stretch through that right armpit, stretch through that right hip. And then take the arms to the right side of the mat and drop the body to the left. Stretch through that left armpit and left hip. Bring those arms back to the center, pushing those armpits to the ground, stretching through that hip, stretching through that back. Pulling those knees away from each other and engaging the bum without actually moving the knees on the mat. Lift yourself up onto all fours. Turn the inside of the elbows forward, tailbone down, back up. And then tailbone up, back down, eyes up, lengthen. Bring yourself into neutral and then walk yourself forward onto the mat. Knees come forward, swing your legs around. Roll those shoulders up to the ears down and back. Hold behind the knees, pull that chest, pull the tummy button forward above those thighs. Bring that chest up high, roll those shoulders up to the ears round and back. Roll those shoulders, let those arms come in too. Roll those shoulders, bring those arms up high, dust the floor. Bring them up high, dust the floor. Leave them in the air this time. Push those hands up high, lift that chest up. Pull those knees to the ground, pull the toes to the nose, bring the chest up. Release those arms, rest them on your legs and roll your shoulders. Well done.